The mission of the Chinese Culture Center of San Francisco is to elevate the underserved and be a voice for equality. We provide a safe space for artists who champion activism, resiliency, and healthy communities. In doing so, we shift the dominant narrative, empower change, and reimagine our futures.
We all find ways to relate to one another through the magic of art. I think that that's important, that we elevate organizations like Chinese Culture Center to be able to provide access to voices that otherwise would be lost or marginalized.
这次举办的我们的展览，然后是非常难得可以从性别及女性议题出发，那透过艺术的感知与想象，将性别平权的精神延伸至更多的面向与连结与讨论。
thing that I think CCC really interesting and unique in is the fact that it's hyper local and hyper international, and I get a voice to be an amplifier for the voices of people in my neighborhood.
Excellent in its work in engagement, in its work in activism, in its work in advocacy, in its work in community building. There are very few nonprofits like Chinese Culture Center, the best of this city.
I'm so happy to have been an artist doing this art, culture, and belonging project with Chinese Culture Center. The questions that we asked was, what are your hopes and dreams for Chinatown? Now actually on a billboard this month in Atlanta, and we're here to take up space and not be invisible and afraid.
There are so many things about that culture and that art that keeps you strong and keeps you unified over the very rough times that you may have as a community.
What we did on April 10th with Artists Against Asian Violence was a way of showing the potential.
Michael and I built this Two Language One Community project to connect Chinese American and African American communities together. We find the Chinese Culture Center as one of the best organizations to work with. Responded so fast to the rising crisis and issues.
A show of support and unity today. City leaders joining with the Chinatown community to say enough to hate and violence.
It was really so moving for me to see Portsmouth Square activated.
It's a safe space that is provided for Asian American Pacific Islander to express themselves with art and share it within the community.
The action on March 20th, I think the main message of the rally was to invite our community members to take up space.
I was so proud to be part of CCC's From Bay to Atlanta. CCC had really been courageous and taking a leadership and speaking out for solidarity.
I think moments like this makes me feel that art shouldn't be an afterthought. It is our voice and our chance to build our own narrative.
The future belongs to the young people.
Future is people.
未来是没有界限，然后充满色彩的。
The future is what we make it.
Building strong communities together.
Really challenging, but the future also is very bright.
The future is neighborhood.
The future is intersectionality.
The future is unpredictable.
The future is us.
Hi, I'm Senator Scott Wiener. I want to congratulate and say thank you to the Chinese Culture Center for 56 years of serving our community, of helping build the community, of empowering artists and strengthening the community through art. Your work and your mission are so important, particularly now with all of the challenges we've had with this pandemic and the strains on our community and the attacks on our community, the hate crimes against our AAPI community and other communities. We're going through a very hard time with this pandemic and coming out of this pandemic. And now more than ever, we need to strengthen our community. We need to come together as a community. We need to celebrate the arts. And the Chinese Culture Center is perfectly suited to help lead in this critical effort. So I look forward to continuing to work together, and I hope that next year, I'm confident that next year I'll be able to join you in person and we will be able to celebrate together. Thank you so much.
Happy Asian Pacific American Heritage Month, everyone. I'm California State Assembly member Phil Ting, and I want to start by congratulating the Chinese Culture Center on an amazing 56 years in our community. The Chinese Culture Center helps anchor arts and culture for our community, especially during these very, very difficult times. Thank you for uplifting the voices and issues for the community through the power of the arts, bringing forth social justice and stories from our community. We thank you for inspiring us and paving the way for future generations.
Good evening. I'm California State Assembly member David Chu, immediate past chair of the California API Legislative Caucus. The theme of tonight's gala is a celebration of we the future, to dream and reimagine a more just society. I'm thrilled to celebrate CCC and the incredible cultural advocates and pioneers. Their work is so critical to our communities, and we couldn't be more proud of them tonight. I want to thank CCC for the incredible, powerful work you're doing during this past year of pandemic, of recession, of conversations about race. From your art making to taking a stand against anti-Asian hate, to helping to host an important dialogue with Governor Newsom to hear from the diversity of our API leaders. Congrats again to CCC and to all the honorees. And I'm now pleased to introduce you to your MC, Dion Lim. Take it away, Dion.
Thank you so much, Assemblymember Chu, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Chinese Culture Center's 56th Anniversary Gala. Thank you, Senator Wiener, Assemblymember Ting, and Assemblymember Chu for kicking the program off. Many of you know my name is Dion Lim. I'm a news anchor and reporter here at ABC 7, and once again, I am thrilled to be your MC. Now, that video was so inspiring, and it is powerful to see the arts act as a loud and creative voice to bringing people together. Art plays a central role in our communities to build empathy, counter narratives of hate, and create safe spaces. This is all critical to healing the division we're experiencing today. Now, this year's theme for Harmony and Bliss is We the Future, and it comes at an unprecedented time of challenge, healing, and mobilization in Asian American communities. We are gathered to celebrate amazing pioneers who have centered arts and culture to uplift our voices of our community. The arts are a bridge for all of us during these times and are essential to our recovery. It is so important for all of us to come together during these times, to collaborate, and I thank the work of the CCC and the honorees tonight who are leading the work to bring more understanding, healing, and hope. Now, we have an exciting program lined up for you tonight, but first I'd like to introduce the people who have led and organized this evening. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to the Gala Committee co-chairs, Wei Ling Eng and Shannon Yip, Gala Committee member Cynthia Tongson, and the entire board for organizing this event.
Thank you, Dion. Good evening, everyone. My name is Wei Ling Eng, and I'm one of the Gala Committee co-chairs and Vice Chair of CCC's Board of Directors. I want to welcome you all to the Chinese Culture Center's 56th Harmony and Bliss Gala. First of all, I would like to acknowledge my fellow Gala co-chair, Shannon Yip, as well as the other Gala Committee members and the CCC Board of Directors, who have poured a lot of heart and soul into the community and the arts. Thank you to Board Chair Tatwina Lee, Vice Chairs Alfred Tom and Jessica Chen Fu, Secretary Cynthia Tongson, and Board Member Michael Moon. Also, former Board Member Ryan Lee for the hard work you've put into this event. I would also like to acknowledge our Board Emeritus who are also here tonight, Ben Choi, Irene Yee Riley, and Maggie Mew. Also, a special shout out to Larry and Jean Lowe. We acknowledge the generosity of the Lowe family to the CCC. Harmony and Bliss Gala's theme of Moon, We the Future, symbolizes CCC's dedication to equality as a local nonprofit organization. Tonight is about celebrating the people and culture that make the Chinatown community so special. Thank you so much for your support and for being here tonight. And I'll hand it off to Shannon.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Shannon Yip, and I'm the Gala Committee co-chair
and a former member of the CCC Board of Directors. Whether it's through artwork or advocacy, CCC is proud to celebrate the people in our communities in all walks of life.
Hi, welcome. I am Cynthia Thompson, Board Secretary and Gala Committee member of the Chinese Cultural Center. I wish to welcome everyone and hope you all have a good time. It is so excited to see you all here. I would like to acknowledge our partners who we are grateful to be in community with and for their support. The Asian Cultural Council, the Asia Art Archive, the Asian Art Museum, and the Berkeley Art Museum and Pacific Film Archive.
Wow, thank you so much, Wei Ling and Shannon, Cynthia, and the entire Gala Committee and CCC Board of Directors for this organizing of this evening. Now, we do not have a live auction tonight, but we do have an online auction that started 2 weeks ago and will continue for a couple more days. Gala Committee members Michael Moon will be joining us live to tell us about the auction and give us updates throughout the evening.
Hello, my name is Michael Moon, and I am on the board of directors of CCC. And I have one job only tonight. That is to do the live updates of what we're raising. We're looking to raise up to $40,000 tonight and sell all the auction items.
Settle down, Michael, settle down. Before we get there, we want to give some special shout outs. We're coming here live from CCC to some special guests tonight. SF Arts Commissioner Yiying Liu, thank you for being here. Supervisor Asha Safai's office, Director of Cultural Affairs, Ralph Remington, Grants for the Arts Director, Valley Brown, Community Challenge Grant Program, Lanita Henriquez, Geraldine O'Brien with the San Francisco Arts Monthly for being the Harmony Bliss media sponsor. Shout out to Jay Shu, Abby Chen with the Asian Art Museum. Woo, friends are at the Chinatown Media Arts Collaborative. Stephen Gong, Jane Chin, Ernesto Vilches, Justin Hoover, Erica G. Thanks for being here.
Hey. So right now, I'm going to give you a live update. We are at $23,702.49 of our goal of $40,000. So please donate. Because what we're trying to do is uplift AAPI artists, voices for social justice. And now it's time for Dion.
Thank you so much, Michael. Now, don't forget to bid, everybody. Go to your link on your screen to bid and view a full list of the items. You can also support CCC with a generous donation. I know you can do it. Now let's get on to our program for this evening. I'd like to acknowledge that this year we are still digital to protect the health and safety of our community. A huge thank you goes out to Skylink TV for partnering with CCC to help record and produce tonight's honorary videos. We'll be kicking off the main portion of the gala, the awards ceremony. I'm going to hand it off now to Tatwina Lee, Board Chair, and Jessica Chin Fu, Board Vice Chair of CCC.
Thank you, Dion. It is our pleasure to introduce the Honorable Mayor London Breed to kick off this segment. Mayor Breed has been a stalwart leader of San Francisco and continues to lead our city through many challenges.
Mayor Breed is an advocate for the arts and the underserved communities, and we are proud and grateful for her leadership. We look forward for her support of Chinatown. Please join us in welcoming this evening Mayor London Breed.
Thank you, Tatwina and Jessica, for the introduction. It is my honor to join the Chinese Cultural Center on celebrating your 56th-year anniversary. For more than 5 decades, the Chinese Cultural Center has been building community and creating leaders through the arts, like the exhibits, festivals, public art, and walking tours. During this global pandemic, their continuous commitment to diversity, inclusion, and solidarity are more important than ever as we work towards a more equitable and just society. In the San Francisco Bay Area and around the nation, we have sadly seen racist and violent incidents against our AAPI community. And CCC has been at the forefront of Stop the AAPI Hate through collaborating with the community to provide powerful platforms and safe venues for everyone to tell their untold stories and provide solidarity. Tonight, we come together to support the work of CCC, and I am humbled to take part in kicking off the award ceremony. This year's theme is We the Future, as we look forward to reimagining and building a more just and inclusive future for all. We also celebrate 5 amazing honorees for their significant impact and creative visions. I want to thank CCC's Executive Director, Jenny Leong, for your leadership, and congratulations again to the Chinese Cultural Center on 56 extraordinary years.
Thank you, Mayor Breed, for kicking us off. We are so pleased to be joined here tonight by the San Francisco Board of Supervisors who are fighting for our underserved communities, equity, social justice, and Chinatown's recovery.
Good evening. I'm President Shimon Walton, President of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors representing District 10. I'm thrilled to celebrate the Chinese Culture Center's work on uplifting underserved communities and continuing our work together for equity and social justice. We can be stronger together.
Good evening. I'm Supervisor Aaron Peskin, and I am so proud to represent San Francisco's Chinatown and join you all tonight in celebration of Chinese Cultural Center's 56th anniversary. And although it's only been 6 months since we celebrated the 55th last October, during that time, CCC has worked so hard during the pandemic to preserve and enhance Chinatown's vibrancy, arts, and culture. Thank you, CCC, for stepping up during this pandemic, for commissioning culturally relevant arts installations and murals around our storefronts and parklets, bringing the community alive, for partnering with local organizations to create safe healing spaces for the community during the rise of horrible attacks on our Asian elders, and continuously raising important conversations about gender identity, race and ethnicity, and socioeconomic issues, especially during the pandemic. CCC continues to be an anchoring institution, embedding arts and culture as part of a history-rich and thriving community. Thank you, Board Chair Tatwina Lee, Executive Director Jenny Leong, for your leadership, and to all of your staff and board members. Again, happy birthday, Chinese Cultural Center. I look forward to more work together so the community can continue to thrive for many generations to come.
Hi, my name is Matt Haney. I am the District 6 Supervisor here in San Francisco, and I want to wish the Chinese Cultural Center a happy 56th anniversary. I want to thank you for your incredible service to our city in fostering understanding and serving the community, in building bridges. You know, this past year was one of the toughest years in the history of our city and in our country, and the Chinese community was hit harder than most, and particularly in Chinatown, really just from the beginning, not only from the pandemic, but from also the scourge of racism and discrimination and hatred. And now more than ever, we need the Chinese Culture Center. We need the services and support and bridge building and exposure to educate people and inform people and connect people. We need it more than ever. I think, as I think about the solution to the challenges we are facing, it is what you all provide. And I'm very grateful to be here and to be able to say thank you on your 56th anniversary next year in person. Take care and have a wonderful event.
Welcome everyone to the Harmony and Bliss Gala. I'm Supervisor Asha Safai, and I'm proud to celebrate our diverse API communities and the Chinese Culture Center. Arts provide a venue for expression and empowerment and healing during this difficult time, and are an asset to our city, our communities, and our youth and seniors.
Congratulations to the Chinese Culture Center. I'm Supervisor Gordon Marr. Chinese Culture Center remains a critical hub for our AAPI communities across the city, at the forefront of Stop AAPI Hate through the arts. CCC amplifies the stories and voices of our communities, our immigrant and low-income families, and I'm proud to celebrate CCC tonight to ensure our community's voices are heard.
Hi, I'm Connie Chan, District 1 Supervisor. A huge congratulations to the Chinese Culture Center for 56 years of community building and the arts. I am proud that you continue to be a loud, creative voice for social transformation and justice, and your work is uplifting the voices of the underserved. We want to ensure you're here for another 50 years. 大家好，我係陳思敏，第一區市參市，喺度恭祝中華文化中心嘅56週年紀念。你喺咁多年嚟為我哋嘅社區同文化不斷嘅貢獻，我哋一定會繼續支持你，讓你能夠繼續喺另外50年裏邊更加多嘅貢獻。
Hi, I'm Supervisor Hillary Ronan, and I want to congratulate CCC for all of your amazing work in the community. Thank you to CCC and the honorees tonight for your work as champions of the underserved.
Thank you so much for being here, supervisors, and for your leadership. Now on to the presentation of awards with our honorees in conversation with Skylink TV host Maggie Wong.
I'm proud to present the first award, the Trailblazer Award. The theme of tonight's gala is We the Future, and this award recognizes a pioneer who has changed the course of their field and shifted dominant narratives. Janet Yang is a Golden Globe and Emmy Award-winning producer. In addition to the many seminal titles under her name, including the Joy Luck Club, she is a champion for cultural exchange between the US and China through film. As the president of the Janet Yang Productions, which develops projects with Asian themes, and co-founder of Gold House, a collective that fights for authentic representation in media, she's a fierce advocate for Asian American media and representation. Her decades of leadership uplifting AAPI voices and commitment to building global understanding brings increased awareness and understanding in our communities. Congratulations, Janet.
So around what age you start to be interested in filmmaking?
Well, the filmmaking part came much later. The film watching part was pretty early on. My sister is 6 years older than me. I attribute my mature taste in film to her because I had no choice but to watch what she was watching. We sat at home and I have an older brother and an older sister, and somehow my sister seemed to control what was then the equivalent of the remote control, the dial on the TV. And I ended up watching very mature films for my age. But it wasn't until I went to live in China after college that I thought of it as a potential. It wasn't even a career, it was a hobby, it was an interest. I visited China first in 1972. At the time, I didn't speak Chinese, really. I went there with my mother to visit relatives because my mother worked at the United Nations. But it made me want to know China better. It made me want to speak Chinese. It made me want to understand their lives and their history. So in college, I decided to take Chinese studies. It was opened up a crack, not much, not like today. And I just wanted to experience China, and I particularly wanted to live in Beijing because I wanted to learn proper Mandarin. I had been studying in college for several years. I was a visiting student at Harvard. I told all my teachers, I said, I want to go live in China, find me a job or something to do there. And she was from China, and she indeed found me a job working at the Foreign Languages Press, which is the government organization that publishes books and magazines for export.
Right. Now, congratulations again for receiving from Cultural Center, the Trailblazer Award. Now, on that day, there'll be a lot of your friends and colleagues going to be at the virtual gala. What are you going to say to them? Or is there any particular person that you want to thank?
I am so grateful these days to our community. The pandemic has been really, really rough, and there has been a rise in anti-Asian hate crimes. So I'm gratified by that. I see lots of people like Daniel Day Kim step up and offer a bounty for the person who pushed and then killed a man on the streets. Very shocking, but again, at the same time, it's unprecedented how strongly the community has come together. So the more representation we have, the more people are inspired and emboldened and feel empowered to speak up, to be very visible in media and in entertainment, and that really, really helps. So a lot of things are happening that are quite wonderful, despite the very unhappy incidents that we've been experiencing.
Well, again, well, thank you so much and congratulations again, Janet. And Janet Yang, Hollywood producer, I appreciate your time and have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, Janet. Trailblazers, as you know better than anyone, don't just split the ocean. They build bridges. So from the States to the motherland, from film to Silicon Valley, across generations, you have been that bridge for so many of us, including me. Congratulations again on yet another well-deserved honor.
Congratulations for this immense honor of the Trailblazing Award. If there is anyone who truly deserves it and has earned it, it is you. You have done so much to uplift our community, raise our voices, tell our stories, and more importantly, inspire a generation of new leaders like myself to follow in your footsteps and make a difference in the world around us. So thank you for everything that you do and to your continued success and for all the adventures we are going to have together.
Bridge building has always been a part of CCC's work, and they recognize the same spirit in others doing the kind of necessary work. Food and culture has always been central in bridging and connecting us, especially in our community. I'm honored to present the Lifetime Achievement in Bridge Building Award to Brandon Ju. Brandon is the executive chef and owner of the Michelin-starred Mr. Ju's in Chinatown. His dedication to expanding the horizons and the conceptions of Chinese American food and culture has been transformative. A huge advocate for Chinatown, he brings a personal and intergenerational vision that focuses on reaching out and giving back. We recognize his work preserving and sharing rich Chinese American cultural heritage in the Chinatown community through food with incredible artistry and celebration. Congratulations, Brandon.
Now tell me a little bit about your childhood.
Sure.
What inspired you to be who you are today?
Well, you know, my childhood is kind of the way that I remember kind of the food that my parents were nostalgic for and my grandparents, you know, what they made. Understanding that food is a way of storytelling and a way of just finding, for me, like my identity.
Now you reinvent and pushes the boundaries of Chinese American food, right? And how does that idea comes to your mind?
I think, you know, initially understanding some of the cuisine that came from this neighborhood, it was like even chop suey and egg foo young, dishes that maybe my family wouldn't order necessarily, but learning more about them, the dishes themselves, how they were developed, really the ingenuity of Chinese chefs and restaurateurs to use Chinese techniques with American products, with in mind that the American palate and the taste of maybe what they imagined would draw more people to this neighborhood. They used those recipes as a way to break racism that was really tearing this community apart from you know, establishing itself.
Now, why is it important to have Mr. Ju's right in Chinatown?
I think this neighborhood has always, to me, been an inspiration for all of Chinatowns all over the nation and all over the world. This is where Chinese American food and the mentality that you can use Chinese techniques with American products.
Now, is there anyone that you want to thank during the gala at the Chinese Cultural Center in the evening that you received this award?
I would like to thank Betty Louie, who is my landlord here, but she was the person that gave me this opportunity and has just been an amazing, not only landlord, but like friend and I would say supporter through this entire endeavor for the restaurant. I also would like to thank Martin Yan. He's someone that has inspired me since I was a kid, and I think his love for Chinese food and for Chinatown, has carried to me as well. And then my family. Yeah, my parents and my siblings. A lot of what we experienced as kids were things that are very cherished memories to me. So, and also like things that I want to pass on to my family one day, or my kids.
Surprise, Brandon, it's your favorite landlord. Congratulations on your cookbook. I'm so very proud of you, and I am so happy you're here in Chinatown with us. Much good luck to you always. Love you.
Brandon, congratulations on your new book. It's a wonderful book. It's a book about Chinatown, story, great recipe, and wonderful anecdote. And I think this book will bring more people to Chinatown, let Chinatown be energized, be revitalized. And this is, you are the future of culinary creation and innovation.
Hey, Chef Brandon, congratulations, great book. I have it. I'll bring it over so you can sign it.
I'm proud to present the Lifetime Achievement in Community Building Award. This award recognizes exemplary leadership in building community and the ability to bring people together. Jean Lun Yang, our next awardee, has built shared connections across diverse communities and has celebrated our heritage and humanity. Jean is a brilliant writer and artist who's pushed the boundaries of comics and graphic novels. His works handle complex and wide-ranging subjects ranging from cultural identity and race to coding and basketball. His novels and comics have served as sources of wisdom, connection, and understanding for readers of all ages. His accessibility, his approach, his engaging style speaks to an intergenerational audience to handle tough issues with grace and humor. Congratulations, Jean.
So we're very interested in knowing, how was your childhood? What influences you to be a graphic artist?
Well, I am the son of two immigrants. My mom was born in mainland China, my dad in Taiwan. When I was a kid, I grew up in a house full of stories. My mom and my dad were both avid storytellers. Most of their stories were from Chinese culture. They told me about Sun Wukong, all of these traditional Chinese stories. And I think it was their way of linking me with their past, making sure that I was connected with the places that they left. So I grew up with this real deep respect for stories. I also grew up drawing, and comics really are, graphic novels are really a way of connecting stories and drawing together.
So she really encourages you, huh? Now, when you start being a graphic designer, what inspired you to do your first book?
Well, when I was really young, I wanted to be an animator. I wanted to work for Walt Disney. When I was a kid in the 80s, when I was watching those animated movies and animated television shows, I had no real idea, no real understanding of how that happened, how to get my drawings to move like that. So pretty soon after that, I teamed up with a friend of mine. My best friend in 5th grade was named Jeremy Kunyoshi. And we started drawing comic books together. So we would draw an issue of a comic. We'd get them Xeroxed by his mom. Then we'd staple them by hand. And we would sell them to our friends for 50 cents a piece. That was the beginning of my cartooning career.
Now, why is it your stories are so important, especially young people?
Well, I think, I write a lot about finding identity. I think that was very hard for me when I was a kid. I remember feeling really lost. I grew up in between cultures. I grew up in Chinese culture at home and in American culture at school. One really stark example of this was I remember, at home when I was introduced to adults, like my parents' friends, I would always have to call them something respectful. But then when I met my friends' parents, like my friends from school, their parents always insisted that I call them by their first names. And as a little kid, this was like hard for me to figure out, right? So I always felt a little bit lost.
Right. Now, what does it mean to you to receive this award?
In a lot of ways, I believe that Chinese Americans in particular and Asian Americans in general, we are in the middle of defining a culture. We haven't really had our own distinctive Chinese American or Asian American music or even stories, Chinese American or Asian American stories. And right now, in this particular generation, during this particular time, we're defining those things. We are figuring out what it means to be Chinese American. I think it's exciting. I think that getting this award, it helps me to be grateful that I am a part of this ongoing conversation and this ongoing building of Chinese American culture.
During the Chinese Cultural Center Gala, who would you want to thank? Or do you want to say something to your audience?
Yeah, sure. I mean, first, I do want to thank the Chinese Culture Center for this tremendous honor. I want to thank God. I want to thank God for all of the trials and the blessings of my life. I want to thank my family, my wife, who supports me in everything I do, even the things that she doesn't totally understand sometimes, and my children for being patient with my career. I want to thank my parents for being constant inspirations for all of my stories. And I want to thank my fellow cartoonists. I never went to art school. I learned to do art. I learned to do comic books and graphic novels by being friends with amazingly talented cartoonists. And I want to thank all of them for all of the inspiration they've given me.
Well, thank you so much. That is very inspiring. And congratulations again, Jane, for getting the Lifetime Achievement in the Community Building Awards. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything.
Congratulations to Jean Lun Yang. I'm so happy that the Chinese Culture Center is honoring this author and artist. He has had a major impact on younger scholars. So I am so happy that he's getting this recognition today because frankly, he's one of our most important Chinese American writers and artists.
The words I have of congratulations for Jean is that you have an unfailing zeal and energy to put your work out there and to actually share it and inspire us.
Hi, I'm here to present the Lifetime Achievement and Community Building Award to Madeline Lim, recognizing her incredible work, both artistically and in the community, as a very bold voice for change. Madeline is a pioneering filmmaker and the founding executive director of the Queer Women of Color Media Arts Project, also known as QUACMAC. Her decades of dedication to cultivating community with providing platforms for and telling stories of queer women of color has changed so many lives. Through her incisive storytelling and advocacy in both local and international spheres, addressing vital social justice issues of communities at all intersections. She has brought inspiration for many and paved a path for generations to come. We recognize the care and vision that she brings to her work and to honor her tonight for exemplary leadership. Congratulations, Madeline.
Can you tell me about your childhood? What inspired you to be a filmmaker?
Coming out when I was a teenager in Asia, in Singapore, I'm originally from Singapore, was actually really, really challenging. And I did not see myself in represented anywhere, in films, in books, and anywhere at all. And I think that for me, film was a really powerful medium. I loved the light and the texture and the way it told stories. It's a really powerful medium because it not only makes people think, it actually makes us feel. So that was what drew me to filmmaking.
So Madeline, can you tell me about your organization, the Queer Women of Color Media Art Project?
So the origin story is that I had created a film, Samba Balachan, in San Francisco in 1997, and it won a couple of film awards, and it was on the International Film Festival circuit. And at each film festival that I attended, whether it was an arts film festival, LGBTQ film festival, or human rights film festival, I was among one handful of queer women of color filmmakers. And so I thought to myself, if we are not making films about our own lives, who will? Are we just going to sit and wait for Hollywood to get it right one day? When is that going to happen? And so that was the genesis for QuackMap.
Mm-hmm. Now, what is the relationship that you have with the Chinese Cultural Center?
CCC is very close to my heart. They are a really amazing community organization. We partner with them and collaborate with them as much as we can. I feel that, for an organization that is 56 years old this year, I believe, celebrating the 56th anniversary, started in the 60s. I think CCC has done an amazing job staying relevant, changing as the Chinatown community changes, as Chinese experiences in the United States change, and as we grow and evolve, and still being able to serve not only the Chinatown community, but also include, others of us as part of that community. And I think that they have done an amazing job in terms of, the board, the staff, the programming, and just, yeah, I think CCC is awesome.
Madeline Lim has spent her entire career teaching women of color that their stories are important, that their voices are important.
Her enthusiasm, her dedication, and her wisdom have inspired generations of storytellers and activists. We are so proud of you, Mad. We love you.
We love you. Say congratulations, Mad.
We realized that Madeline was a very special person and was going to change our community.
And she has. Congratulations,
Congratulations.
Madeline.
Congratulations, Mad. What an honor to be recognized by the Chinese Cultural Center. Coco can't be here tonight, but we both want to say it's a well-deserved award. Thank you for all the contributions you've made to the API community.
I am honored to introduce a special segment tonight in memory of the legacy of Judy Young, a pioneering Asian American historian and scholar who spent a lifetime uncovering Chinese American and women's stories that frankly were missing in our history books. Judy was a Chinatown kid who grew up in the SROs, went to my alma mater, UC Santa Cruz, and came back to the community working as a librarian at the Chinatown branch through the early 1970s. She always maintained the spirit and connection to Chinatown throughout her studies and her work, which centered on the immigrant experience, particularly the significance of Angel Island, and the connection between Asian Americans to the overall history of this country. Judy was incredibly gracious with her time. She mentored so many. She worked to uplift the voices that had been invisible for so long. As a community, we are all fortunate to have someone who cared so deeply for Chinatown and the AAPI experience and shared the humanity of all of these stories in such a relevant way. Thank you, Judy Young.
I met Judy 40 years ago when I started research on my film about Angel Island Immigration Station. Her willingness to share her knowledge and resources was immediate. Her generosity is legendary. What I didn't know is that her parents called her Daeung, number 5, as she was the 5th child of 6 born into the family. She developed her love for learning and books early on.
I remember going there for the first time with my grammar school class. That just opened a vista for me to explore the rest of the world from my protected environment in Chinatown. My parents refused to give me permission to get a library card because they were afraid that if I lost any of the books or they would have to pay for them. To get around that, I forged my parents' signature on the library card application. And I continued using that library every weekend and read just about every book I could in the children's room.
I was awestruck by Judy's commitment to Chinese literacy. She even turned down Lowell High for Galileo so she could stay in Chinese school through graduation. And she continued to study Chinese in college. Her ability to speak, read, and write Chinese served her well throughout her career. Judy created the first Chinese American collection at the Chinatown branch of her youth, as well as establishing the first Asian American library in the country. At East West, she honed her skills as a journalist, then moved on to author books. Many focused on the contributions of Chinese American women, like these she told me about in an interview about the YWCA.
There was a very active group of women in the late 1920s who decided that we're going to build this building. And they drove cars.
Judy's enthusiasm for her subjects never waned, but what was surprising and unpredictable is that she ended up marrying one of her interviewees. Retirement from UC Santa Cruz did not slow her down. Even after Eddie's death, Judy continued to mentor, consult, speak, and spent time with family. Her last project was as co-curator of an exhibit on the Chinese in California. I produced the videos for the exhibit, much of it based on research Judy provided. Author Ruth Ann Lumacun said Judy had an incredible impact both during her life and for all time. She was the best friend a person could hope for, and she never quit being a librarian. I think everybody whose life she touched would agree.
That was such a moving tribute to Judy. Once again, congratulations to our honorees. We want to thank you for your inspiring and impactful work. All of our honorees are taking home a beautiful award in the form of artwork by CCC artist Christine Wong Yap, whose art, culture, and belonging project you'll see later in the program. It is truly a captivating program that has become a voice for the community, even sharing words of encouragement and expanding to Atlanta. As we move on to our next program segment, don't forget you can still continue to donate online as you are watching this program and to bid on these wonderful auction items.
We want to give a big thank you to all the donors who have donated and the ones who are participating in the auction. We heart you. So, are we ready to get this Zoom party started? Yeah!
Okay, thanks, Michael.
Donate.
Let's give some more shout outs for the people who are here in the audience tonight. Grace Yu with the Hong Kong Economic and Trade Office, David Lay, Michael Ward, Chun Yu, and the entire CAM team, Jennifer, Francis, Quack Maps in the house tonight, Madeline, Kibo, Christina. If you haven't made a bid for the auction yet, there's this very special package in tonight's auction to the 17th Annual International Queer Women of Color Film Festival. You get 2 tickets to the festival and tickets to the virtual Angel event, which is a private and invite only. Go ahead and bid on it today. You can also get amazing items like the personally signed playbill by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So there's something for everyone. Michael, you want to tell a little bit about who's.
So thank you for all those who have donated. Right now, Norman Yi, thank you. Chong Bin Zhang, sorry, I'm gonna butcher the names, I apologize. But yes, thank you. Ryan and Terry Lee, we got you. Asim Azir Giri, thank you. Lauren Gee, Dorothy Ang, Heather Ang, Jennifer Chen, and Lawrence Rinder. Yay! Thank you guys. And we're almost to our goal, but we're not gonna tell you what it is because we still need your support. So keep on donating. Thank you. Yes, we're almost there.
Hi, I'm Ryan Lee. I'm part of the Gala Committee here at CCC, and I'm also a board emeritus. I'm here to introduce Carmen Chu, our city administrator, to the next segment.
Hi, my name is Carmen Chu, San Francisco City Administrator. I want to congratulate the Chinese Cultural Center on your 56th anniversary, and especially to the individuals you'll be honoring tonight. I know that we all come together with a heavy heart, especially because of all of the anti-Asian violence that we've seen in our community and also across the country. But part of the way that we're going to change our narrative and the way that we're going to change people's perspective is by talking about it, by honoring the people who are stopping the violence and helping to make this change. So again, I wanted to say congratulations to CCC for your 56th anniversary, but again, a big heartfelt thanks to the people who are helping to drive this change.
Thank you, City Administrator Chu. Good evening. I want to congratulate all of the honorees tonight, Brandon, Jean, Janet, and Madeline, for their leadership and paving the way for future generations, and to remember the incredible legacy and work of Judy Young. COVID has exposed the disparities in our society as our AAPI communities experience hate, violence, loss of life, and business. I'm proud to invite you to participate in We the Future, an artistic initiative that champions the work of artists as integral to the struggle for racial justice, building coalitions between Chinese American, Asian American, African American, and communities of color to heal and create a more just and equitable future. Throughout this year, We the Future and art is an active and loud voice at the forefront of racial justice, organizing Chinatown through Black Lives Matter, being a strong voice for anti-Asian hate, supporting Chinatown's recovery through loud and creative murals, and to be a strong voice for cultural equity. This entire year has been a testament that art is essential to the city and Chinatown's recovery. We the Future will be the guiding direction for the next 2 years of our work to support the community's recovery through the arts. We look forward to being part of the city's recovery through the upcoming year's programming to be a strong voice against hate in collaboration with our community and social sector partners. Youth Rising will empower youth and artists to build solidarity across communities and neighborhoods, building safe communities and safe spaces through artistic residencies and a hub at 41 Ross, empowering and uplifting AAPI artist voices and supporting the economic recovery of the community. We ask you to join us in this work. Your support is absolutely critical during this time to help our communities recover, be a strong voice against anti-Asian hate, build solidarity, and build a strong, healthy future. Be a champion, game changer, and visionary by donating. I'm so incredibly proud to be joined in this work by CCC's energetic and vibrant team that has been the active and loud voice in this work. Hoi Leung, Yuan Yuan Zhu, Wei Ying Yu, Wendy Liu, Janet Chan, Elka Lee Shapiro, and welcoming Dixon Lee. Please give a round of applause to them. I now want to invite you to check out CCC's work in action. I want to introduce CCC's Board of Directors, Laureen Wu McLean.
Thank you, Jenny, for your very strong leadership of the Chinese Culture Center. This organization is very special to me. One of the most important projects that we did during this past year was a project called Art and Belonging. And part of it was to produce a booklet of all the ways in which various Asian people have remembered Chinatown and the feeling of belonging in this neighborhood.
My name is Christine Wong. Yeah, I'm an artist. Working with Chinese Culture Center has been amazing. It's been such a supportive organization, and I've been so impressed with their commitment to equity and access. So I devised a project to ask the question, how does art and culture impact your sense of belonging in San Francisco, Chinatown, and Manila Town?
Christine selected some of my quotes and stories in this comic zine. So sometimes after work, I often go to Stockton Street. Really reminds me of grocery shopping with my mom, with my grandpa in China. That's what makes me feel belong here.
就是很多的这些游客啊，都在这停留，在看你们的这些橱窗的简介，而且给我们生意也带来。所以呢，你们做这个活动是非常有意义的，可以给老一代的移民他们有一种亲切感。
This is me and my grandma. Felt that being involved in the project was really exciting. I love Chinatown and Chinatown history and my involvement here, and I love any chance I can talk about my grandmother because I'm so proud of her.
Chinatown for me brings special joy, brings special pride to be able to have my roots here because my family, especially the women in my family, is so strong and resilient.
同时呢，文化与艺术又可以满足当地居民的精神生活需求。 也有助于提升人们的文化素质。
One of the questions that we asked was, what are your hopes and dreams for Chinatown? We took some of those answers and turned them into this artwork, and I selected this one, Less Discrimination, More Understanding by YY, and is now actually on a billboard this month in Atlanta, and as well as on some kiosks in St. Louis, Missouri. I think by including Chinese language in the billboard, I just wanted to say we're here, and we're here to take up space and not be invisible and afraid.
I'm clearly not from this culture, but like I'm able to belong to this spot. And so it just gives me like another opportunity to be like, oh, okay, I love this place. And I can express my love through like telling my story of like what it means to me.
I think Chinatown's art and culture story is an immigrant story. And that's why I'm so honored that we were able to show that iHotel was a story of fighting for immigrant communities' ability to practice its own culture.
It is important that the API community establish and make firm the sense that we belong here in San Francisco and particularly Chinatown. One of my roles that I was very grateful to do is to rally my own community to bring forth their stories about Chinatown and Manila Town. My uncle and aunt were part of the human chain that defended the iHotel in 1977, and then I would be the next generation, and I'm now the executive director. So 4 generations have been rooted in this neighborhood.
As artists, our role is to help imagine what an alternate future could look like and the future that we want for our people, and to really help people just imagine. Hello, I'm Hoi, and I'm the curator at the Chinese Culture Center. I want to give a shout out to all the artists supporting us tonight. Chinatown artist Bida Kwon and Beijing Liang, woman artists from the Bay Area, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Shanghai,
Our Culture and Belonging lead artist Christine Wang Yap, lead artist of Dawn Chorus 3, Sophia Cordova, past CCC artists Jennifer Walford, Related Tactics, Ming Ray, Lam Dongpan, past Shenrui artists Summer Lee, Zhen Chongbing, Stella Zhang, and upcoming Shenrui artist Kathy Liu. Thank you so much for being a creative vision for us all. Through our upcoming programs, we will continue to champion and put to the forefront voices of marginalized communities. I am so thrilled to announce that in the fall, we will be launching the fantastical documentary and exhibition Dawn Chorus 3 by Sophia Cordova, which has been a year-long community-based project engaging with a group of 6 women asylum seekers in a journey to heal through arts. Then coming in early 2022, I'm excited to present Kathy Liu's solo exhibition and a series of programming uplifting young voices. Kathy's ceramic-based installation will examine the immigrant experiences in a strong stance against racism and xenophobia. Our current exhibition, WE我們, From Her to Here, examines agency and belonging in queer and feminist communities. We are so excited to show an excerpt from a work featured in the show. It is Tina Takemoto's experimental film, Ever Wanting, for Margaret Chung. This film is inspired by Margaret Chung, who is the first American-born Chinese female physician. Although Chung was closeted throughout her life, she had an intimate relationship with many women. This film examines Chung's ever-wanting desire for belonging, with imagery drawn from her complex biography. Visit CCC online or at our gallery to check out the full film and exhibition.
Hello, I'm Alfred Tom, CCC board member and committee chair. I'm proud to be part of this amazing community of artists and activists, not only here in the Bay Area, but across the world. CCC has a robust membership program consisting of perks such as discounts to our design store, community lunches, and invitations to exhibition openings and receptions. So we invite you to become a CCC contemporary today and join our unique family. We look forward to seeing you at exclusive, member-only events coming this fall.
There's so many people in the audience tonight. I just have to give just a shout out and just Tony, Brenda Tucker, Marnie Cook, Rachel Jacob Barnett, Lily Ling, Roya Banu-Azizi, Jaron Bonillo, Mary Ann Milford, Robert Lee, Eben Glenn, Erica Scott with the African American Arts and Culture District. We're really looking forward to partnering on the Unity mural, and a shout out to our community partners, Community Youth Center, Chinese for Affirmative Action, Chinese Progressive Association, and I just want to thank the Coalition for Safety and Justice for their incredible leadership. Thank you so much. And for everyone who is attending tonight, you'll get access to view the wonderful film directed by Madeline Lim, The Worlds of Bernice Bing. If you haven't seen it or just want to watch it again, you'll get to see this amazing film about an under-recognized voice and artist from Chinatown. This is part of our work in uplifting the voices of our community, celebrating creativity and talent that are homegrown here. Now I want to hand it off to Hip Hop for Change, who curated a special performance for the evening.
Peace, y'all. My name is Godfrey J, and I'm the executive director here at Hip Hop for Change. On behalf of our organization, I want to congratulate the San Francisco Chinese Cultural Center on your 56th anniversary. That's big. We want to thank you for your rich cultural influence here in the Bay Area and your unyielding dedication to bringing all our communities together. With that being said, Hip Hop for Change is excited to announce our beautiful partnership with the Chinese Cultural Center. We hope to bring hip hop and Chinese culture together to eventually see our elders and youth rapping in Mandarin and Cantonese. Imagine what we could do if we come together in solidarity, y'all. This partnership brings us one step closer to the harmony and bliss we want to see. So once again, congratulations on your anniversary. And now you folks are in for a treat. We've got one of the Bay Area's most talented hip hop artists for your entertainment and your education. Introducing the indomitable Ryan Nicole.
When the march became monotonous, it became synonymous with the walk to Auschwitz. I wonder who we following, who's the first in line, and if he obeyed his conscience, if one of us broke free right now, would we betray our providence? Is this our fate, God? Am I to say, is it my place to play the prey so generations have a taste, God? For retribution, bloodthirsty for solutions, lasting longer than our stubbornness, refusal to arise from the confusion, Allah. I'll let this iron sharpen iron, but when I am iron deficient, carotids look delicious. Time is running out, and if I obey these wishes, might not make it to the mountain, just be stuck here in the bushes, burning, yearning to make a difference, so I'm listening. For my marching orders, a whisper, a sign. For the wind to shift, the shifting of these paradigms. If this a pilgrimage across the sea, a trail of tears, will it be me to break the beast? God, I pray it is. We've grown accustomed to a fruit that's overripened, fallen off the vine and out of time, it's nearly lifeless. The curious correlation is our comfort nice, our fear is heightened. We like a thing so sweet it's sour, our seduction frightening. Like our tempted, taught with fear, taught to fear anything real. Success is side-eyed, while the cynics get our ears. We hear, not listening, touch with no feeling, seeking, not finding, thinking we wise, we just wishing, listening for some better days, waiting on a Messiah, pray someday someone will save. We lay our hopes, invest in icons, celebs, and wonder why calm we conned out of our senses when our six we should have heeded, needing to breathe and seek inside. The God of our unconscious, not just God up in the sky. Life is about reliance on self, and that ain't blasphemy. Lesson on Mount Sinai felt, and as for me and mine, we listening for our marching orders, a sign for the wind to shift, the shifting of these paradigms. If this is a pilgrimage across the sea, a trail of tears, will it be me to break the beast, God? I know it is. For our marching orders, a whisper, a sign, for the wind to shift, the shifting of these paradigms. This a pilgrimage across the sea, a trail of tears. Will it be me to break the beast, God? I pray it is. If you go right, left, then I go left, right. If you gonna bring death, then I'm gonna bring light. So some won't see the day until they leave night, but I'm gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. If you go right, left, then I go left, right. If you gonna bring death, then I'm gonna bring light. And some won't see the day until they leave night. We gonna be all right. We gonna be all right.
So very impressive. Thank you, everyone. That performance was so wonderful. We do want to take a moment also to acknowledge all of the wonderful supporters and sponsors this evening one more time for their support. A round of virtual applause.
Congratulations to our honorees. We're so excited to celebrate you and your amazing work in your respective fields and for our communities. We hope you had a great time learning about the amazing work of the CCC and our mission at the intersection of social justice through art. On behalf of the CCC Board of Directors and from our community, thank you.
All right, let's do one more check of our goal this evening. Drum roll, please. Take a look.
Yay! We reached our goal. Thank you to everybody. Our goal, we surpassed our goal. We're at $4,500. $45,000.
$40,500.
Sorry.
We did it!
We did it! Oh my God.
We did it! 40,500. Everyone.
Thanks.
Thanks. What a wonderful way to end the evening. I expect nothing short of that. Thank you so much to Wei Ling and the CCC once again for all of your tireless work. And of course, thank you to everyone for coming out to support the community once again. I'm Dion Lim from ABC 7 News. Have a great night.